To the campus of St. Augustine Prep. We are here at the Paul Navone Pool as we have the St. Augustine Prep Hermits hosting Cherry Hill East, as well as the Oma Villagers hosting Cherry Hill. So, start a little bit late as the match started a little bit early and the internet kind of crapped out on us. But we are in the second event, the 200 free. Hermits took home a first and a third. As did Oma, took home a first and the third in the 200 medley relay. 200 free, I'm waiting for those results from the Oma Cherry Hill East race. But here they are for the 200 free relay. I'll get the scoreboard up and running for you in between the next race. So, for the Hermits, in lane 5, lane 6, Matt Panaka, and lane 2, Dimitri Anthony. So it looks like the Hermits out to a early lead in first. 2-3 right here. In place for 2-3. Obviously, the lead swimmers in 4 and 5 are pretty darn close to one another. Looks like Schenk takes a little bit of a lead off that last half turn. So Schenk almost a whole body length in front of his competitor in lane 4. Actually, it looks like in lane 3 for the Hermits, he might have actually kind of raced into that second place. That is Jonah Alvarez, although that is a tight one going into the finish. So, let's see this final turn. Schenk pulling away a little even further in what is this last lap. So it looks like Schenk does come in first with a time of 1:41.29. In second place is Cherry Hill East. Hermits will take third and fifth. So Hermits go first, third, and fifth, gaining a few more points in that round. Third and fifth, gaining a few more points in that round. I said, as I'm updating the scoreboard so we can get it up there for you when the internet kind of crapped out. So I'm not able to do the math in my head real quick because I want to get this up for everyone. So you kind of have to bear with me. But Hermits had a 10-4 lead going. Hermits had a 10-4 lead going into that. And that will only expand here. So two of the top teams in South Jersey, two of the top teams in the state. The Hermits come in ranked second in the state, and I know they're probably thinking that, hey, maybe that's a little low for them. They're hoping for a little bit higher there. And Cherry Hill moved up a spot in this week's rankings to fifth in the state. I'll pull up the girls' stats in a minute so we get these scoreboards up here and posted for you. So we go in the 50 free again. We were in the 200 IM after the 200 free. Let's get that up there for you. So you'll see the girls' score on the bottom of your scoreboard. The boys' score will be in the main box. There we go. Hermits have a 20-10 lead. Oma has a 19-11 lead. Let me fix that there at the bottom. And I will get you the swimmers for this 200 IM. So the 200 IM for Oma is Dugan in lane 3, Cook in lane 5, and Bickett in lane 7. And for Cherry Hill East, they have Laura Murch in lane 4, Julian Terry in 6, and Lynn Mai in lane 2. Looks like Cherry Hill East out in front here for slightly to first. with the two leaders, the two middle lanes, pretty far out in front of everybody else. And then you see at the top of your screen in lanes 6 and 7, another tight race. Looks like almost slightly edging Cherry Hill East out for third place at the moment, but that one is going to be extremely tight, going to come down to this freestyle. Cherry Hill East swimmer in lane 4 took a pretty commanding lead with the breaststroke right there. Now they're going to see if they can't hold on in this 50 free up and back. Again, scoring in individuals goes 6-4, 3-2, 1-0. So Cherry Hill with a commanding, probably like 3 body length lead there. Alma going to take home second place. But like I said, look at the top 2 lanes on your screen. Not the warm-up lane at the very left, but lanes 6 and 7. It is a neck-and-neck race there. It's going to be for a big point either way in a close match. This could do it. I mean, it goes from like an 11-5 to a 9-7. So like I said, in close matches, that can be the difference. Those little touches, those fractions of a second, that was, less than a tenth of a second, 7/100ths of a second there, splitting them. Huge touch there for Alma. The referees are kind of conferring right now, making sure they got the score and the times right. They're all at the table, kind of just out of my view. But it was, again, Alma 19, Cherry Hill East 11 heading into that. My quick back of the napkin math. So Cherry Hill should have gotten 6 points for first. And they got 2 points for fourth and 1 point for fifth. So they should get 9 there. So they should be at 20. Maybe 6 for Alma. So it should be like 25, 20 Alma in the girls, something like that. Unless something changes here. Like I said, I cannot. The very far right of your screen is the table. Looks like here the referees come out. So unless they had I don't know, someone left early or maybe the touchpad didn't work, something like that. But I don't think so. I think touchpads all kind of went off on time. But unless there was something like that, then that score should be fairly accurate to what I just said. But the referees did take a long time at the table. Either way, we are now into the boys' leg of the 200 IM. So, for the boys, it'll be Luke Bickett in lane 5, Nathan McCarthy in 3, and Kipton Paulus in 7. And for Cherry Hill East, it'll be Jacob Yerkes in 4, Brandon Barclay in 6, and Santiago Andijo in lane 2. Apologize for any mispronunciations, but I'm not great at reading managers/coaches' handwriting sometimes on these team sheets. But looks like Bickett up to a big advantage here. Hermits actually holding on to a first, second right now, but that race for second, third is pretty tight. You know what I mean? One discipline switching to the other could flip that in any direction. I think Bickett's pretty good. It's going to be tough to catch him no matter what stroke you're doing. But He's also built himself a pretty big lead that I don't think anybody's catching that. As of right now, if you look in lane, you see Bickett's about to touch right here in lane 5. Then you kind of see lane 4, one lane below Bickett, and lane 7 at the very top, the last swimmer, is really that race for second, third. But again, that's that kind of like extra bonus points. Like if you win the race, you're usually going to get points, especially if you finish first, third. You get a first, second, you start getting some bonus points there, and to borrow a wrestling term, and all of a sudden you can stretch that lead a little bit for the Hermits. So here they are in the last 50 free. Again, Bickett about 7 body lengths across from his nearest competitor, and Kipton Paul is actually getting a decent lead right there. And actually, if you look at the bottom screen, McCarthy trying to go for a 1-2-3 for the Hermits. So Bickett finishes him first. Looks like Paul's at the top of your screen is going to come in second. And third place goes to Cherry Hill East in lane 4. McCarthy ever so slightly away from getting a 1-2-3 sweep. Looks like in lane 4, he finished with a time of 2 minutes, 2.2 seconds, and McCarthy finished behind him with a 2.45 seconds. So 2/10ths of a second away from Hermits making it a clean sweep. And if you start getting clean sweeps, you're going to pull away pretty quickly. Usually don't see that too much in. So they're looking to make it 4. But when you kind of dominate your way to a state championship last year and then get even better, there's lofty expectations, and that's where you're going to see, the Hermits hope to kind of show what they can do here in this matchup of top 5 teams. So they take a 32-14 lead. Pretty solid so far. Oma leads, 26-20. So Cherry Hill cut into that lead. Now we're into the 50 free, the quickest one. So Oma has Creasy in 3, Rogers in 5, and DiLeonardo in 7. And Cherry Hill West has Vagel in 4, Barone in 6, and Lawson in 2. As we come to the finish here in the 50 free, Oma takes a close first in lane 7. Second place is Cherry Hill East in lane 4. Third place is Cherry Hill East in lane 3. And fourth place is Oma in lane 5. So Oma with the odd lanes get 0 for lane 3, 2 for lane 5, and 6 for lane 1. So they should get 8 points there. Where Cherry Hill East goes 2, 3, 5. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That might be an 8-8 split right there if my math is correct. So that would bring it to 28 for Cherry Hill East girls and 34 for Oma. I'm going to put that on the scoreboard real quick. I'll let the table correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll put that up right now for you. Let's see if my math is correct. So we head to the 50 free for the boys. For the Hermits, in lane 5 is Frank Verzetti. Lane 3 is Alex Morrison. And lane 7 is Mitchell Johnson. For Cherry Hill East, it is Jack Swaggle in lane 4, Alex Rounds in lane 6, and Grant Martirower in lane 2. Pretty tight, pretty even across 3 or 4 lanes right there. Kind of tough to tell a difference. Looks like it's going to be a touching pad finish right here. The Hermits in lane 3 may have pulled ahead ever so slightly, and they do. The Hermits take a first, second with lane right, and welcome back as we are in the 100 butterfly for the girls. So for Alma, that is Kern in 3, Sandy in 5, and Cook in 7. And for Cherry Hill East, it is Barone in 4, Lawson in 6, and Greenier in 2. Now we're coming down the line, but it looks like Alma gets a 1-2 in lane 5 and in lane 7 at the time of 1:01:41. So Alma gets first in lane 7, second in lane 5. Cherry Hill East will get third in lane 4. Fourth will go to Alma in lane 3. So Cherry Hill dug themselves a little bit of a hole 2 events in, kind of clawed their way back to being only down 6, 34-28. And that right there is going to push it back up again for Alma. So Alma doing a good job of responding, coming out of that 5-minute break with a good 1-2-4 finish in the 100 fly. So Alma should get 12 there. And this will be my back of the napkin math until it's confirmed the scoreboard. So it should be 46. And Cherry Hill East gets 4 points. So it should be 46-32. They have not adjusted the scoreboard yet, but that is my best guess. I will adjust as we go. But now we head on to the boys' side. But the Hermits do hold a 44-18 lead. And for the Hermits, they have Jonah Alvarez in lane 5, Nick Stride in 3, and Ben Stanker in 7. And for Cherry Hill, they have Alex Markoff in 4, Connor Borelli in 6, and Ryan Moyer in 2. Looks like Cherry Hill East with a slight lead right now for first place. And then we head into the last 25. It looks like goes Cherry Hill East, Prep, Cherry Hill East, but that third, fourth race is pretty tight. So Cherry Hill East does take 1. Hermits take second in lane 5. Third place goes to the Hermits in lane 3. And fourth place goes to Cherry Hill in lane 6. And fifth place goes to the Hermits in lane 7. So Cherry Hill getting a couple points back there with a good 1-3 finish. Actually, that's not a mistake. Way went 1-4. So never mind, that was closer than I thought. The Hermits took second and third. But, that's how you kind of mitigate points when you do lose events. Don't let them go 1-3, and definitely don't let them go 1-2. You go 2-3, you're really cutting that, that advantage they get by winning the race in half. So if you go 6, there are 16 total points given out in a race, and, first place gets 6 points. You're almost there to, at least cracking even, getting past it. But the Hermits with the second, third, they get 4 and 3, so they get 7 there. And then I think it was an 8-8 split. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you can get that, snap that second, third, and then that fifth spot over 6. I think the Hermits kind of did a split, yeah. So it'll be 52-26 on the boys' side. So we flip back to the girls, and we go into the 100 free. For the 100 free, or Alma, we have Dugan in lane 3, Stanker in lane 5, and DiLeonardo in lane 7. And for Cherry Hill girls, we have Bagel in 4, Brennan in 6, and Hancock in 2. Alma might even be able to extend their lead here as they look like they currently hold a 1-2 finish. They touch in for first in lane 5 at the time of 55.23. They also take second with a time of 55.79. Cherry Hill East takes third in lane 4. And Cherry Hills also takes 4th in lane 6 and 5th in lane 2. With that 1-2 finish, like I said, if you get 16 points in an individual race, that 1-2, 6 plus 4, 6 for winning, 4 for second, gives you 10. So you're already gaining 4 points on your opponent there. I mean, 1-3 is scoring your points. 1-2 is getting you a little hot. So Alma should go, I said it should be 10-6, so it should go up to 56-38. So again, Cherry Hill made it pretty close, kind of coming out of the break, or going right into the break. But Alma responds, opening up an 18-point lead, if my math stands. The boys 100 free will go Frank Verzetti in lane 5 for the Hermits, Clint Cole in lane 3, and Vince Ziller in lane 7. While Cherry Hill East has Jack Schlugen in 4, Jacob Yetzk in 6, and Matt Rebstack in 2. The Hermits look like they currently hold a 1-2-3, but it is pretty tight. Except for Frazzetti taking the commanding lead there by a body length. So Frank's going to come in first, but we're going to see how these finish out because the rest of them are pretty tight. Actually, looks like Cherry Hill East in lane 2 took a commanding second place. I'm sorry, lane 3 took commanding second place. So Hermits will finish first in lane 5, second in lane 3, and 4th in lane 7. So the Hermits going 1-2-4, scoring a bunch of points again there. Which will bring us to the 500 free. I lost track of the math, and they usually update the scoreboard in the pool after the boys meet anyway, so I will just wait till they do it. Looks like they do it right there. The Hermits now take a 64-30 lead. Did have a spectator tell me that, prep spectator, like, I don't know if we're quite as good as last. You know, I know we were pretty good last year. We were expecting to be a little better. They're kind of like, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see till we say if we're a better team than the last couple years, even though they won state championships. So I'll heed their advice. Although the Hermits look pretty good right now. Like I said, it is a top 5 matchup. And, you know, it's like this early part of the year, the Hermits were a little shorthanded their first couple of meets with some of the guys out in Pittsburgh for one of these big club meets. So it's kind of hard to tell, you know, how well they did. Like, they only beat Mainland 93-77. They beat Atlantic City 135-35. But, like, they're missing probably 7 or 8 guys. So this is really the first chance you're going to get to see them at their top speed. Obviously not top speed because, you know, shave, taper, whatever those crazy speed suits you can wear. But it at least kind of gives you an idea of more where they're at with PowerPoints. And that goes across the board. You know, I mean, you look at CBA's times, you look at Bergen Catholic, Pingree, whoever else the Hermits might see in on their way to the state title match or in the state title match. Everybody's going to get quicker as the season goes along. But this will give you a good baseline to kind of see where the Hermits are at. So we go to the 500 free for the girls. Let me double check my score. They have 56-38, which is correct. As we go into the longest race of the day, the 500 free. So for Alma, they have Smith in lane 3, Cummings in lane 5, and Sure in lane 7. And for Cherry Hill, they have Merch in 4, Terry in 6, and Bunt in 2. Hermits did win this one in kind of convincing fashion last year, 110-60. Let's check on Alma and Cherry Hill. So Alma's 2-0. Beat Atlantic City 124-45, Mainland 99-71. Last year when Alma faced Cherry Hill East, they beat them 106-64. Cherry Hill East did go on to win. Cherry Hill's girls at least did go on to win the state final. So let me check Cherry Hill's boys too. They might have did the same thing. Let's see. Let's pop into their schedule. They lost to Hillsborough in the semifinal round. So, I mean, 3 of these teams, if you count the boys and the girls as separate teams, 3 of the 4 won state championships last year. St. Augustine Prep, Alma in the non-public tournaments, and Cherry Hill East girls took on the state finals. So this pretty fast match here, even though it looks like Alma and the Hermits have it working in their favor so far. Oh, wow. Cherry Hill East girls beat Montclair by a point with a tie in there. Which tie, if it's through the 100th of a second, so further than that, they're like, our timing systems aren't that great, so we're going to just call it a tie. So they tied at some point in that meet and won by, I mean, it says by a point, but that's a half a point. Half a point either way flips that. You know, if Montclair wins that touch as opposed to Cherry Hill, wherever that was, that changes the meet. So that's why I say, like, even though he's down the lane, you know, you're fighting for 5th and 6th if it's both, you know, Cherry Hill versus St. Augustine or Alma, whoever it is, as long as it's you versus the opposing team in those last couple lanes, they can decide a meet. I know it's like, everybody's looking first place, second place, which are obviously you'd rather get the more points, but those finishes, close finishes down the end of the pool, down the end of the lanes, matter a ton in those kind of games. So that is crazy close finish when Cherry Hill East girls won the state final last year. Let's go to the girls' NJ.com rankings. As I said, we know that the Hermits are number 2 behind Bridgewater and the boys, and Cherry Hill East is 5. But let's go to NJ.com's ranking for the girls. So Alma is actually number 2 in the state behind Chatham. So they are the top-ranked girls team. When we scroll down, it goes Hillsborough 3, Bridgewater Raritan 4, Immaculate Heart 5, Angry. So Cherry Hill East is 12. So Cherry Hill East, another top 10, top 15 program in both the boys and girls side. Yeah, as of right now, Alma and the Hermits looking to come away with these convincing. Now, it does look like Cherry Hill is out in first in the 500 free. Right there as we head on to the last lap for the leaders, at least. Sometimes with the 500, but who's lapped who, where's it going where, it's kind of hard to tell who the other ones besides the leader are. But right now it looks like Cherry Hill East is going to take first place in this event. You're good. You can move up. I can see. So it is Cherry Hill East in first in lane 4 with a time of 5 minutes and 14.38 seconds. Olma will finish in second after that. None of the other lanes have finished yet. So we are so it does go Cherry Hill in first, Olma in second. Cherry Hill takes third, Olma in fourth. So Cherry Hill with a 1-3 there. Down 18 points going into that. So if they get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. So they should go 10-6, gain 4 back there. If, again, my math is right. So it should be 48-2. So 4 races left. Not out of the question for Cherry Hill East girls, but, it is kind of like you need to start getting results. You need to get those 1-3s, especially in these relays. Relays are going to be the big because it goes 10-4-2. So you win the relay, you're getting points. But is it going to be, 8-4-2. But if you get first, third, now you're getting 10-4, you're getting 6 points. If you can somehow get a first, second, which is incredibly tough in relays, you're getting all of a sudden 14-2. So 12-2. So that's going to be where Cherry Hill's going to try and climb back in this. Now again, it is 85 points for that guarantee the tie. So it's kind of a race to 85, or really 86 to guarantee yourself the winner. 85 and a half, but that's rare, even though we were just talking about it on the girls' side. So we head into the 500 free for the boys. And in lane 5 for the Hermits is Luke Bickett. Lane 3 is James Cook. And lane 7 is Finn Walsh. And for Cherry Hill East, they have Luke Davis in 4, Matt Parecka in 6, and Matt Conlon in 2. Interesting strategy. Oh, Luke Bickett isn't a relay. I was going to say, because I know you can only use a guy so many times. So it looks like Bickett is not in the 2 free relay, but he is in the 400 free relay. Because I think, they used Bickett in the 500 here. They're going to use him in the 4 free relay, the 200 IM, and the 200 medley relay. So that makes sense. He's in those relays. But it also makes sense if you're doing the 500 free to not go in that 200 free relay, because that's a lot of swimming to then get out of the pool and do it again, even though it is only a 50. I feel like I would drown if I had to swim that 500. And again, it is 64-30 in favor of the Hermits. Listen, honestly, if there's room in the schedule, I would love to see it. Bridgewater, Raritan, St. Augustine / Olma meet, because if that's 1-2 in the state on the boys' side and 2-4 on the girls' side. I know it's not necessarily logistically possible because everybody's got their conference swim meets, and then you have your traditional non-conference, like Hermits for the last however many years have swam Cherry Hill East, swam LaSalle last year. There's the common opponents and rivalries, and in the beginning of the year, it's tough because you go from these club events, so you're not everybody's at full strength, to the Christmas break, and then so you're kind of fitting all these meets in a month. And how many times can you go race? You got without a little break in between. So logistically, it's tough. But man, that would be pretty cool if you had a Bridgewater, St. Augustine / Olma race. This is the point in the meet where I would normally check the PowerPoint, see how everything's lining up. But like I said, I think PowerPoints are kind of meaningless right now because who knows who's swimming where. So instead, let's take a look at our streaming schedule coming up. Looks like the only thing before Christmas is Millville Wrestling on the 23rd. So we got a little bit of a break from today to the 23rd. It'll be Millville Wrestling. And then on the 30th, the classic, Holy War right on I know that's more of a football or Hermit spirit kind of thing, but Gloucester Catholic St. Augustine, huge rivalry in hockey. That game is on the 30th of December. GC's technically the home team, but both teams share a rink, so intimately familiar with one another. All these guys play club against or with one another. The students all know each other. I know I know Gloucester Catholic had a little bit of a down year last year, which kind of like did a little bit of a little bit of water on the fire. But looks like GC's rebounded this year. Kind of like more of a blip on the radar last year than, a downward trend. So it might be that intense rivalry game once again on that Tuesday night, New Year's Eve. The Hermits actually up playing Del Barton right now. I don't know if that's on live stream as well. But looks like Bickett is a commanding lead, but Cherry Hill East in lane 4 has a stranglehold on second place. Their finish is Bickett in first place. Cherry Hill East will take second. Looks like the Hermits will go third. And then it's going to be a tight one for fourth as both lanes 2 and 7 coming in. Looks like lane 3 takes fourth. Lane 7 takes fifth. So the Hermits go 1, 4, 5. So Cherry Hill East gets 2, 3, 6. So the 2-3 really helps mitigate losing, the overall lead, the overall race. But Hermits are able to snag that last point at the end of the race. It's really a 2-point swing by getting that 5th place as opposed to 6th place. So the Hermits with the first with 6, 5th with 1 point, and 4th, just 2 points. So 3, so this should get 9 there out of a possible 16. So 9-7. So Cherry Hill East does a good job of kind of like mitigating, like I said, those points, but you're running out of time. Looks like so it is 74-36 for the Hermits. Alma leads 62-48. As we end the 200 free relay. Everybody swims a 50 up and back. So for the girls in Alma in lane 3 is Dugan, Cressy, Pace, and Smith. In lane 5, it's Cummings, Schur, Cook, and Stanker. In lane 7, it's Monzo, Maplin, Fura, and Quanon. And for Cherry Hill, in lane 4 is Brennan, Boucher, Vogel, Murch. Lane 6 is Gerner, Keating, Terry, Lawson. And lane 2 is Janakowicz, Terry, Sullivan, and Yu. So you figure if, say Cherry Hill was getting into these races, you can say you got 8 and 4. So you're getting 12. Right. So you're getting 12-2. So you're getting 10 points. 12-2. Even adding 2 points for Alma is not going to quite clinch everything, but 2 points in the last 2 relays would be 4. So the Hermits are up to 77. And then say even Cherry Hill East sweeps the back 100 back in the breast, that would be 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. So another 3 points. So the Hermits are guaranteed by just filling lanes, getting 4 points from the relays and 6 points from the back and breast. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would be 2 points shy of tie, 3 points of winning. So Cherry Hill East has got their work cut out from the boys' side. That is pretty much a done deal. But a 10-point closer on the girls' side. So Cherry Hill East needs something here. And they're in lane for a 1-3. But Alma pulling away a little bit here at the end and takes first place in lane 5. Cherry Hill not far behind in both lanes 4 and 6. But nevertheless, Olma takes the win. That would have been huge if Cherry Hill got 1-3. As opposed to 2-3, you're just kind of mitigating the losses. Really tough to score points. 1-3, you're scoring. So, and it's like a 4-point switch. So, big finish there for Olma by less than a second, about a half a second away. But Olma goes 1-6-0. So even if they only get 7 points out of that, and so there you go. So Olma loses points there, but again, it's not as big of a loss. It would be a huge swing in favor of Cherry Hill if they were able to get that first place spot. Instead, it should be only 9-7. So it should be 69-57 is my guess, but we move on to the boys' side. And the 200-free relay is in lane 5 is Schenk, Call, McCarthy, Morrison. Lane 3 is Stride, Stanker, Catania, Johnson. In lane 7 is Nagel, Schaefer, Frangakis, Clay. And for Cherry Hill East, in 4, it's Matur, Rowdis, Davis, Schwagel. In lane 6, it's Rebstack, Browmer, Boyer, and Panaya. And in lane 2 is Wright, Wilkins, Bacaro, and Kaluas. Hermits look like they are jumping out in front here. I think the white swim cap is kind of throwing me off. No one knows have blue or gray. They are holding on to a slim first second. This could all change, but looks like they got a decent lead in first, maybe about a body length or so. But then, lanes 3, 4, 6 are all tight. The Hermits, the Hermits winning this basically clinches the match. But you can really add on some points if you go 1-2 here. Like I said, it's like a 10-point differential in your final scores in these relays if you can pull it off. So they're coming down here to the final stretch. Looks like Hermits will take it in lane 5 for first place, and they will take second in lane 3. So it'll be 12-2 in that finish. So Hermits will clinch the meet with 3 races to go. Oh, looks like I was off by 1. Maybe earlier? I'm not sure how. Whatever. Maybe it was the last race I was off by 1. Or maybe they were off by 1 on the scoreboard because that was odd. Either way, Hermits 85-39, which again clinches it because as long as you enter people in a race, you're going to get 2 points in the next 2, and there's 3 points in the next 2 and 2 points in the next 1. But Hermits will clinch that there. Almost score is 70-54, so I guess I was slightly off on that. As we are in the 100 backstroke. And for the girls, it is for Olma is Creasy in 3, Sandy in 5, and Kern in 7. And for Cherry Hill East, it is Brennan in 4, Mai in 6, and Rinchart in 2. Olma have a pretty big lead in first. Cherry Hill trying to keep it close in those next 2 lanes. So if they want any shot, they got to go 2-3 here. But even then, I think it's kind of like saying goodbye a little bit if they can't win these last couple events. But that's the only way you're going to make up major points. But Olma will take first place in lane 5 at the time of 1 minute, 10.17 seconds. Cherry Hill East will take second. Olma finishes in third in lane 7. And Cherry Hill East in fourth in lane 6. So if Olma goes first, third, fifth, that's 6. Plus 3 is 9, 10 points. That should be 80 to 60 if I'm not mistaken, which I could be very easily. But if I'm not mistaken, that means an Olma would be guaranteed just by finishing out the last 2 races 5 points. So even if Cherry Hill sweeps the top 3 in each. So kind of down to the wire there for Cherry Hill. They need to go 1, 2, 3 in the breast and 1, 2 in the free relay. That's if my math is right. Like I said, it was wrong earlier. Well, the scoreboard was wrong. We'll see. All right, so we head to the boys' backstroke. And for the boys, we have, for the Hermits, in 5 is Shank, 3 is Judah Baraka, and 7 is Billy Jenkins. And for Cherry Hill East, it's Markson in 4, Borelli in 6, and Adlino in 2. Shank is actually the record holder for the Hermits in this event. Time of 49.97 seconds set last year. That was a sophomore. I figure at some point over the next year or 2 he'll break that. That probably won't even back up at the end of the season because I feel like they're going to keep changing it. But like I said, again, they're not always the fastest this time of the year. I'd be curious how his time compares to last year. You know, older, faster, stronger, but not kind of tapering down and stuff towards the end of the season. So let's see where he comes into that. A little slower, as he is with 51.29. So, you know, 1.3 seconds slower than his record. But like I said, it's early. He'll get there. But the Hermits go 1, 3, 5. And if it didn't already clinch the match, that really clinches it there. The boys will hop out of the pool. Oops. We head into the 100 breast. Oh, how do I keep getting these Olma ones wrong? Maybe the refs are changing something over there, but I'm a 1 point off, so Olma will be 79 to 61. Doesn't change much in the fact that Cherry Hill really kind of needs to sweep these last 2 events. So we look at the girls' side. In 100 breast, it is Rogers in lane 3, Stanker in 5, and Bickett in 7 for Alma. Assuming she's related to Luke. And if she pushes as fast as Luke, then she's probably pretty good. And Cherry Hill East has Sarah Buncher in 4, Walsh in 6, and Giardi in 2. And it looks like Alma is in first place, so even if they catch her, you're not getting that 1-2-3 sweep, as it looks like it goes Alma, Cherry Hill East, Alma, Cherry Hill East. So Alma might be even picking up some more points here as they look headed towards a 1-3 finish. And Alma does finish in first with a time of 1 minute, 8.63 seconds by Cherry Hill East. And Alma again. So Alma picking up a few more points here, and that should clinch them the meet with one event left to go. I should get 9 points there to 7 for Cherry Hill East. So, yeah. I think it's 88-68. Yeah, and I've been off a couple times, so could be there too. But I believe Alma clinched that meet right there. And as we go to the boys' side for the Hermits, in lane 5, it's Alice Morrison, 3, Trent Cole, and 7 is Kipton Paulus. For Cherry Hill East, it's Grant Materone, Braden Barclay, and Max Massett. For the Cougars of Cherry Hill East. We head into the last 50. We'll see where they're at when they pop up the water. Come a little closer to our announcer booth here on the bottom of the pool. Looks like the Hermits might have an ever so slight lead in lane 5, but there are 2 Cougars right next to them. Here they come out of the turn. Again, I think Morrison holds a slight lead, but all top 4 lanes are neck and neck as they come to the finish. Hermits do take first place in lane 5. Second place goes to the Cougars in lane 4. Third place also goes to Cherry Hill East in lane 6. And fourth place goes to the Hermits in lane 7. And the Hermits also round up the top 5 with third place in lane 5. I'm sorry, 5th place in lane 3. Flip those 2 numbers in my head. Got to update the scoreboard last round, so it was 95-45. Now it is 104-52. So we head into this last race. Let me check my scores now that they updated. It is 88-68 in favor of Alma. So in this last event for the girls, or Alma in lane 3 is Dugan, Kern, Cressy, Rogers. Lane 5 is Cummins, Sandy, Bickett, DiLeonardo. Lane 7 is Quan, Pace, Smith, and Monzo. And for Cherry Hill East, In lane 4 is Terry, Barone, Hancock, Murch. Lane 6 is you, Greener, Heating, and Saronch. And in lane 2 is Bury, him, Mai, and Binhart. And a little longer, the 400 free relay. So each swimmer does a 100. Up, back, up, back. 200 relay is always exciting because it's boom, up, back, up, back. Up, back, switch, up, back, switch. This one a little longer than that. Olmo with a commanding lead in lane 5 once again. Cherry Hill in the next 2 lanes, though, so cutting down on some of the points that Olmo will gain out of this. Here we are on to the last swimmer for each team. Curious to see how close any of the Hermits can get to some of these free relays, because Hermits have had some really good teams over the last 4 years. Hermits have had a really good team since 2002. But the record, they got 3 records from the 2017 team. That was the 200 free relay, the 400 free relay, and then Luke Snyder had his own in the 100 free. Also, some of the guys that kind of overlap in the 15 team is the 200 medley relay record. So it'll be interesting to see if we can kind of like, next year or two, challenge those couple records that have stood for a long time. The longest record for the Hermits back in 2007 is the oldest one on the record board right now, Matt Joyce with the 200 IM. But Olma does take first. Cherry Hill takes second and third. So Olma will get 8. Cherry Hill will get 6. That should lead to a 96-74 result. I'll wait till they put it up on the scoreboard too, but pretty confident that was what it is. So we head to the boys' side. And for the Hermits, in lane 5, we will have Luke Bickett, Jonah Alvarez, Frank Frizzetti, and Christian Schenk. Lane 3, you have Nathan McCarthy, Judah Bavara, Tio Catania, and Vin Ziller. In lane 7, you have Finn Walsh, Pat Carvajal, Ryan Sprang, and James Cook. For Cherry Hill East, in lane 4, you have Scooterin, Yerkes, Davis, and Markov. Lane 6, you have Donato, Rebstack, Rounds, and Antonov. And in lane 2, you have Summerling, Grotch, Moyet, and Conlon. I guess the referees are conferring on the last relay for the girls. Looks like they're ready to go. They have the swimmers take their marks. Hermits won with 110 points last year against Cherry Hills. They can improve upon that mark this year with a win in this for-free relay. Pretty even across most lanes here through the first 50. You see them come around 75 into it. They head back for their last 25 before they pass it off to their next teammate in line. Hermits in lane 5, stretching a lead out a little bit here. And by these times, they're not coming close to that for-free relay, at least today. At least today. That Mahan, Shepard, Washart, Snyder team took down an extremely talented CBA team in the state final. Kind of had that gap, because the Hermits had that run from 05 to 09, where they won 5 state championships. It should have been 6, but the referees kind of botched a false start there. Whatever. Now they, are back to 3 in a row, hoping to make it 4 in a row this year with that kind of 2017, kind of like that one dot in between 09 and 2023 where they won the state title. But that was real off the strength of those relays that were able to take down CBA in an extremely close meet. I mean, I'll put close swimming meet right up there with any of them. I mean, like, I know people kind of, hey, it's America, so we're watching football and basketball. But, man, like, you got a close swim meet, it's hard to beat. Same with wrestling. I mean, you get a close dual match, like the Hermits when they took down Delsey last year. It's hard to beat those kind of environments, man. Now, a blowout, not as fun. But I'm just kind of thinking back to that where we looked at the Cherry Hills girls from last year. I can't even imagine that half-point meet. Like, that had to be bonkers in Rutgers. Hermits do take first. Cherry Hill takes second. Hermits take third. Hermits will get 10 points, and they will go to 114. Be a 56 Cherry Hill East. And that will do it for us from here today. So, again, our next live stream will be on December 23rd, where the wrestling takes on Millville. Thanks for tuning in. As always, go Hermits.